So we have lots of military officers in many different specialties in our Air Force. It takes that. But there is a common, I would say, specialty in the Air Force, and that's leading airmen. So I think I'm not unique in saying that any officer would absolutely love the opportunity to lead airmen. And we're best to do that than when they come into the Air Force, get their training, and then are provided to commanders. So that's why this is a very, very special opportunity. Let me start in answering your question by telling you what has not changed. There is some things that are consistent. If we were training airmen in the 60s, if we were training them in this decade, and that is what you heard me say out there about the common DNA, the integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. While we have not always used those words, we have always tried to instill that into our airmen. But today is a different day, isn't it? And our airmen are more savvy with technology. They're coming from a society that has changed dramatically. How we deliver services has to take advantage of those kind of technology, and we have to do it in respect to our nation in a resource-constrained environment. So the method at which we deliver it, we have to make that match the times and the capabilities that we have today. If you go back even before the founding of the Air Force, our nation goes through swings in its defense budget. And as the threat increases, the defense budget goes up. As soon as that threat has gone away, the defense budget goes down. We call that the peace dividend, and it's living in those interwar years between major conflicts. So keep in mind, we're coming off of 2 decades plus of war, kinetic war. We are also coming off of an amazing efforts in the Air Force for humanitarian efforts. Every time we did that, we got additional resources. We got additional people for that. Our challenge now is to find out what is required in those interwar years to have the force ready for that next threat. And what we aren't good at, frankly, and I don't mean we, the Air Force, but we in general, the public, is deciding what that next threat will be and what the size and composition of the Air Force will have to be to address that. So it is a resource-constrained environment. Our chief has made it very clear that if you sequester us in 2016, if the defense budget is sequestered and you take $12.5 billion out, that you can't do that without some mission impact. And we know that. A great deal of our costs are in personnel. So when you use the term personnel drawdown, that's how we resource in a constrained environment. If you take $12.5 billion from the Air Force in 2016, some of that will come out in personnel. Our challenge, commanders and leaders, is to make sure we have the right mix of personnel remaining.